This video will provide the operational steps on how to use the safety stopper tool to renew or abandon 3/4 inch through 2-inch cap tees operating at a maximum of 80 pounds per square inch. Do not operate the safety stopper if the tee is severely corroded or the surface is uneven. Always read operating instructions to prevent injuries and equipment damage. Check for worn parts, loose bolts, and damaged O-rings. A well-maintained tool is essential for safety. Clean and lubricate all shafts before and after use to ensure proper operation. Open and close the ball valve to confirm operation. Secure loose clothing, long hair, and jewelry to prevent accidents. Keep the area clear of clutter and limit access to authorized personnel. Always wear company-approved personal protective equipment. Adhere to your internal gas company standards and procedures above anything presented in this video or related media. Clean the tee area down to bare metal where the packing seals, cap adapter, half collars, and housing will be positioned. Loosen the cap to break the initial seal. This will make the cap removal operation possible. Install the first packing seal with the round side facing down, stretching it over the service tee cap. Repeat with the second packing seal with the round side facing up. For 3/4 and 1.5 inch tees, use one packing seal face down and one reducer disc. Place the 2 half collars under the packing seals. Ensure the 2 half collar edges come together or it will not fit inside the cap housing. Place the housing over the tee and collars. Make sure the threaded studs fit through the slots. Hand tighten the assembly with the supplied nuts. Install the ball valve adapter when performing the operation on 3/4 through 1.25 inch tees. Install the ball valve. Fit the slots on the cap removal adapter over raised castings located on the cap. This is used to maintain assembly alignment. Evenly tighten each nut on the cap housing with the wrench until moderate resistance is felt. Fasten the safety strap. Tighten the T-handle assembly onto the ball valve before removing the cap. Pull tight. Perform an equipment integrity leak check. Push on the gauge assembly and open the bleeder valve. Push down on the T-handle and slightly loosen the cap to fill the chamber with gas. Keep a slight downward pressure on the T-handle to prevent the gas pressure from pushing the shaft up. Leak check all fittings. Tighten connections as necessary. If all assembly connections are sealed, then remove the cap from the tee and retract it above the ball valve. When the cap is felt or heard skipping over the tee's threads, it is fully removed from the tee. Retract the tee handle with the captured cap above the ball valve. Close the ball valve and bleed off the excess gas using the chrome-plated bleeder valve. Then remove the T-handle assembly. Install the viewport. Look through the viewport to determine if the hole in the main is round and centralized within the tee. If yes, a self-tap plug can be inserted into the main hole to stop the gas flow. Choose the correct size self-tap plug to insert into the main to stop the gas flow to the service branch. Tightly wrap the plug with thread tape. Insert the hex end first into the housing. Attach the assembly to the ball valve. Open the ball valve and push down on the shaft until the self-tap plug enters the hole in the main. Maintain downward pressure and tighten the self-tap plug by turning the hex clockwise. When noticeable resistance is felt, open the bleed valve. Continue to tighten until the sound of blowing gas is no longer heard and the service outlet is safely stopped. Bleed off any remaining gas that may exist downstream, such as opening the meter valve or other approved company methods. Do not remove the equipment. Tighten the shaft lock and complete renewal or abandonment according to the company procedures. The operation is complete. Remove the equipment. When using the rubber plug method, choose the correct size plug and fasten it to the bayonet mount shaft. To attach and expand the plug, push the stem end into the hole inside the shaft. Then push and turn the plug counterclockwise so the plug pin engages the offset slot. Gently turn the small T-handle clockwise until you hear it click. This indicates that the small pin inside the shaft fully engages the dimple on the plug and will expand the plug. Measure the travel needed to expand the plug below the service branch by lining up the lip edge of the housing assembly with the lip edge of the ball valve. Push to extend the shaft so the top washer locates below the outlet. Make sure to keep the shaft straight. Tighten the collar on the shaft to reference the necessary travel. Fully retract the shaft and fasten the assembly onto the ball valve. Make sure the bleed valve is in the closed position. Hold the shaft in the fully retracted position with one hand and slowly open the ball valve. Push the shaft down to the collar and simultaneously hold the shaft into position and turn the small T-handle clockwise to expand the plug. Tighten until noticeable resistance is felt. Do not over-tighten. Open the bleed valve. If necessary, continue turning clockwise in quarter turns to expand the plug until the sound of blowing gas has stopped. Tighten the shaft brake. Further verify downstream that the service is stopped, such as opening the meter valve or using other company-approved means. Complete renewal or abandonment procedures according to company standards. The operation is now complete. To detach the expansion plug from the shaft by following these steps, loosen shaft reference collar with hex wrench. Simultaneously push down slightly on the shaft, pull up on the small T-handle, and turn the shaft clockwise until the plug disengages. Retract the shaft end above the ball valve, close the ball valve, and bleed off excess gas. Remove the assembly. Fit the viewport and open the ball valve. Before proceeding to the next step, check that the expansion plug has been properly inserted into the throat of the T. If the expansion plug accidentally disconnects from the shaft, use the magnet attachment connected to the T-handle shaft to remove the plug. To remove the expansion plug from the T, simply reverse the installation operational steps. Push the shaft down over the plug stem. Turn he shaft clockwise to hook the plug pin into the loosening slot. Once engaged, turn the small T-handle counterclockwise in quarter-turn increments until the shaft gently retracts to above the ball valve, aided by the gas pressure. Do not over-loosen the plug. The equipment is also capable of returning the cap to the T without removing the assembly. Install the cap into the adapter. Fit the T-handle assembly onto the ball valve. Open the ball valve and push down on the shaft until it contacts the top of the T. Tighten the cap onto the T. Fit the viewport to ensure the cap is installed correctly. Then remove the equipment. The operation is now complete.